My sister made fun of me for not having kids. For years, Christy acted like my entire existence was some kind of joke. Every Christmas dinner, every birthday party, every random Tuesday at Mom's house, she'd find a way to slip in a comment. Oh, you wouldn't get it, you don't have kids. Or my personal favorite, must be nice to just think about yourself all day. She'd say it with this fake, sweet smile like she was joking, but we both knew she wasn't. I'm 35, I work at an art gallery downtown. I have a small apartment with plants I actually remember to water, a cat named Bean, and a coffee maker that cost more than my couch. I like my life. I didn't accidentally end up here. I chose this. But to Christy, I was basically a selfish child who never grew up. She got married at 23 to this guy named Travis, who sells insurance and talks about golf way too much. By 30, she had 3 kids under 7. Her Instagram was full of those messy mom posts with captions like chaos and cuddles and wouldn't trade it for the world, which fine, good for her. But she made it her whole personality. And worse, she made my lack of kids mine. At Mom's 65th birthday last year, Christy was going on about how exhausted she was, how she hadn't slept in days, how being a mom was the hardest job in the world. Then she looked right at me and said, "But you wouldn't know anything about sacrifice, would you?" Everyone got quiet. I just sipped my wine and changed the subject. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction, but it kept happening. At church potlucks, she'd introduce me to people like, "This is my sister Janelle." No kids, just her. Like I was some incomplete project. One time, her middle kid scraped his knee, and when I tried to help, she literally waved me off and said, "It's fine. You don't have the instinct for this stuff." I stopped going to family stuff as much after that. Then, in April, everything flipped. Mom called me on a Wednesday morning, which was weird because she usually texts. Her voice sounded wrong. She told me Christy was in the hospital. Her kidneys were shutting down. Something autoimmune the doctors didn't catch in time. They said she had a few weeks before she'd need dialysis for the rest of her life, but a transplant could fix it, maybe. The whole family scrambled to get tested. Travis wasn't a match. Mom and Dad were too old and had their own health stuff. Christy's 2 cousins on Dad's side got tested and neither worked. I didn't say anything at first. I just sat with it for a few days thinking about all those comments, all those little digs. Part of me wanted to let karma do its thing, but I couldn't. As much as she annoyed me, she was still my sister. So I went to the hospital on my own, filled out the paperwork, and got tested without telling anyone. 2 weeks later, the doctor called. I was a perfect match. I didn't tell Christy right away. I wanted to sit with the decision for a minute, make sure I was doing it for the right reasons and not just out of guilt. But the next Sunday, she came home from another failed consultation, and I showed up at her house with the test results in my bag. She opened the door looking terrible. Her face was puffy, her hair greasy, and she had this defeated look I'd never seen on her before. Travis was in the back wrangling the kids. She just stared at me. "Can I come in?" She nodded and sat down on the couch like her legs couldn't hold her up anymore. I sat across from her and pulled out the folder. "I got tested," I said. "I'm a match." She didn't say anything at first, just stared at the paperwork. Then her face crumpled and she started crying, these big, ugly sobs that shook her whole body. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there until she calmed down enough to talk. "Why would you do that?" she whispered. "After everything I said to you." I shrugged. "Because you're my sister, and because I don't need to have kids to be a decent person." She cried harder after that. The surgery happened 6 weeks later. It was rough. They took my kidney out through my side and the recovery was no joke. I was in the hospital for 4 days, then off work for another 3 weeks. Christy's surgery went longer, but it worked. Her body accepted the kidney, and within a month, she was off dialysis and starting to look like herself again. The first time she visited me after we were both home, she brought flowers and this card her kids made with crayons. She sat on the edge of my couch, careful not to bump me, and just said, "Thank you. I don't know how to thank you." I told her she didn't have to, but things changed after that. She stopped making comments. Completely. No more jokes about me not understanding sacrifice.